Today, we will go over the process of the pink and white overlay using the correct techniques. If you follow this tutorial step by step, you will achieve a beautiful looking set of nails using the Cachet Dipping Powder. First, you must use the Cachet hand sanitizer before you proceed onto the next step of the application. It is important to sanitize your hands and the client's hands before starting any process involving the Cachet Dipping Powder. After sanitizing the client's hands, start by using the fine sand band drill bit gently above the surface of each nail. This is to clean the nail, remove shine, and pushes the cuticle up the nail so that the powders will adhere properly to the surface of the nail bed. Do this with every nail for both hands. Afterwards, dust off the nails using a soft brush to remove any excess powder and residue left over from the drilling process. First, apply the prep. Prep, or also known as number 1, contains vitamins and nutrients such as calcium and vitamin E to nourish the nails and promote healthy growth. Apply the prep directly onto the cuticles and then onto the rest of the nail. This is the Cachet Dipping Powder. Today we will be using a light pink and a French white to create a French look. Before you start the dipping process, make sure you hold the containers like so. Flip it upside down to loosen up the powder, creating a consistency while dipping. Flip it back to its upright position. You're then ready to open the jars and begin dipping. One thing that you do not want to do is to tap or agitate the jar in any way. This causes settling of the powder, creating an uneven surface that is unsuitable for dipping. Make sure you invert the jar once before dipping. Start by applying the base coat, or number 2. Remember, when using the base coat, or number 2, it is not recommended to wipe the excess base coat liquid onto the opening of the bottle. Remember that with the base coat or number 2 bottle, that you must always pull the brush straight out from the bottle opening. Do not stir or rub the brush around the opening of the bottle as shown. This is to prevent drying and clogging of the bottle opening. Start by applying the base coat halfway up the nail and then dipping into the desired powder to create a foundation before starting the actual dipping process. Afterwards, apply the base coat 2/3 of the way up the nail. Then dip the nail into the white powder gently at a 45-degree angle directly in the center of the jar to create a smile or curved line. Remember to bend the finger down and away from the jar while tapping to remove any excess powder. Dip the rest of the nail into the pink powder to complete the layer. The third time, apply the base coat all the way up the nail, making sure not to touch the cuticles surrounding the nail. Again, dip the nail into the white powder, making sure you are lined up with the first curved line. Again, be sure to tap the finger away from the jar of the white powder. Finish by dipping the nail completely into the pink powder. Continue this process throughout for each finger. Apply the base coat halfway up the nail and then dip into the powder to create a foundation. Afterwards, apply the base coat 2/3 of the way up the nail, and then dip the nail into the white powder gently at a 45-degree angle to create a curved line. Dip the rest of the nail into the pink powder to complete the layer. The third time, apply the base coat all the way up the nail, making sure not to touch the cuticles surrounding the nail. Dip the nail into the white powder, making sure you are lined up with the first curved line. Finish by dipping the nail completely into the pink powder. Remember, it is important to note that when using any white powder, that you avoid contamination of the powder. This is done by not allowing any excess white powder from the nail enter back into the same jar. Always tap the nail off outside the jar to prevent the powder from falling back. This is crucial to maintaining the lifespan and quality of the Cachet Dipping Powder. When you add on the white tip, you will often notice a gap or a bridge between the white and the pink. This must be filled in using the base coat, number 2, in the center only, not the sides. And then finish by dipping the nail into the pink to fill in the gap. Repeat this fill-in process for all the nails if you notice a larger gap between the pink and the white on each nail. Finish by brushing off the nails to remove any excess powder. Start by adding on the dry coat, or number 3. Apply it around the cuticle first, and then the rest of the nail bed. After the application of the dry coat, wait for approximately 1 minute before applying the base coat, number 2, on top. After the application of the dry coat, start by adding on the base coat, or number 2. Remember, when adding on the base coat, or number 2, make sure not to touch the cuticles. This is used to protect and seal in the applied powder. After completely applying the base coat onto each nail, wait for approximately 10 to 15 seconds before moving on to the filing process. Make sure that the applied base coat is completely dry before filing. Start by filing down the nails to the desired shape and size requested by the client, at the same time cleaning underneath the nails as well. After filing down the nails, use a very fine drill bit to smooth out the surface of the nail bed. This is to remove any bumps or ridges on the nail. Make sure not to remove too much from the surface. This would cause the nail to become thin and more prone to damage. After smoothing out the surface of the nail bed, buff the top and the bottom of the nails to smooth out the free edge and remove any unwanted bumps on the nails. After buffing, brush off and clean the hands from dust and powder. And continue on to spray alcohol to disinfect and clean the surface of the hands and nails. Wipe off completely with a clean, hot, or dry towel, making sure that the hands are dry afterwards. After cleaning off the hands, apply a layer of dry coat or number 3 onto the cuticles and the entire nail. The number 3 dry coat is used to help the next number 4 top coat liquid dry quicker. This process is required. If the next number 4 top coat you add on does not dry, it means that this coat was not applied. Continue by wiping down each finger with a soft tissue to clean up, at the same time removing any excess residue from under the nails. The main purpose of wiping down the nails is to remove any excess number 3 liquid so that the brush of the next applied coat does not dry off. After, apply the glossy top coat or number 4. Make sure that the first coat is applied on quickly so that the brush doesn't dry out. The second coat can be more detailed, covering the entire nail bed. Make sure to seal the free edge carefully to ensure the longevity of the nails. Using a fan or by air drying, let the nails dry for approximately 2 minutes before moving on. Using the Cachet cuticle oil, which contains vitamins A and E, brush the cuticles of the nails only and massage upwards towards the finger, not towards the nail. This process is to soften the cuticles and promote growth and provide nutrients to the nails. After finishing up the last step, your client now has a beautiful set of nails using the Cachet Dipping Powder. Using the applied methods, you can achieve the desired look using the pink and white overlay technique. Thank you for watching this instructional video. For more information, please visit www.cachetdp.com.